Hello, Modern Dark here again. Today, just for a brief moment before I leave to go to school, I'm just gonna quickly talk about President Bush and how he thinks he's doing something good by, going over and trying to make peace between the Palestinians and the Israelis. Now, if you guys really want to know more about the Palestinian and Israeli conflict and what it's all about, you can just look that up yourself, or as a matter of fact, I might actually post something since I like to explain things to people. I might post up one of those later today or tomorrow or something. But President Bush. President Bush supporters, which I respect them, at this point would be saying, "Good job, President Bush. You're trying to make peace between people that have hated each other for a long time. That's great." But non-Bush supporters, like myself, are saying, "Great job, Bush. At the end of your term, you're gonna go act like you're gonna go and try to make peace between two people that are almost never gonna like each other." Now, the Palestinians and the Israelis. Palestine is that whole area over there. Israel, West Bank, Gaza Strip, Golan Heights, all those places. Now, during, the UN, or at least I think it was the UN, gave the Jews half the land and the Israelis the other half of the land, although the Jews only made up like 30 or 40% of the population. I don't know. The Palestinians didn't like that. And after Israel, 60 years ago or 70 years ago or something, I think, it was 1948. So yeah, that should be like 60 something years ago. But, God, I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, all the other countries around them, Israel itself, were Arab countries, and they thought that Jews shouldn't be in that area. So all the neighboring countries, like Syria and Jordan, or Transjordan as it should be called, attacked Israel. Now, that was the day after they were, made or established. And the Jews kicked their ass, honestly. And so the Jews are always going to be there, and the Jews are always going to have a strong military. And the Jews are always going to have that land, no matter what those Arabs around the surrounding area do. So President Bush, along with every other stupid thing that you have done, you are not going to be able to make peace with the Palestinians and the Jews. Honestly. I mean, come on. When are the Jews going to say, okay, well, we're going to give you Palestinians some land, when they already have the West Bank? They got, well, no, they don't. Those are occupied territories. But we're not going to get that land. The Jews, they're in the UN. They're an official country. We support them. We have a strong military. They have a semi-strong military, especially since I think every person in Israel has to serve 2 years in the military. That's a really good idea, but not always the greatest. But President Bush. Let's just still talk a little more about President Bush. Now, there are people who are for the war in Iraq, and there's people who are against it. I'm not necessarily for it, and I'm not necessarily against it. I don't see that there's much of a reason we need to be over there. But if we do pull out of there, and the terrorists do start taking land, well, let's say X amount of oil costs $10. If we let the terrorists take over that area, they're going to start saying, hey, this amount of oil costs $100. Well, then other thoughts on that would be that the terrorists have to sell it, and if they bump that price up that much, no one's going to buy it. That is another good thought. We don't know what will really happen, but it's just lots of thoughts on what you can say about that. And now, then the rising oil prices. We get more oil from Canada and South America. Us, as the United States, get more oil from Canada and South America than we do in the Middle East. Now, the Middle East holds, I think Saudi Arabia holds like 60% of the world's oil. But currently, we're getting more oil from Canada and South America than we are the Middle East. So who's to say if we don't pull out of the Middle East that we'll be getting an efficient amount of oil from there, and the gas prices will eventually go down. Slowly, but, it is better. It's going down. And then we're spending half of our oil over there in the Middle East with the planes, and then we're giving all these countries oil for their tanks and their ships and everything. And it's just amazing how much the government holds behind us and how much the average American knows about all the oil and where it's going. And I myself, I'm a Democrat. I'm voting for Obama, and you know, and it's just amazing how much our oil is being wasted. Now, I hope they don't officially pull all the troops out of Iraq because we're too far in this to just, randomly pull out. I think, if anything, we should just pull back to the borders if there seems to be any major problems, send some bombs in or some troops in or something like that. And then, it shouldn't be that bad, but, we're wasting lives every day. I mean, it's not as bad as a war as like World War II or Vietnam War or anything, but it's an unneeded war, unnecessary. Yeah, we want to stop the war on terror, but we don't need to be in there infiltrating houses and be in there in the desert doing all this stuff. But President Bush, man, I just gotta say, you've worked a lot, you've chilled a lot, you've said some good things, you've said some bad things, but this, I just can't believe you, because, the Palestinians and the Jews, you're never going to get peace between them. And even if you do, it's going to take quite a long time. And since it's going to take quite a long time, that proves that you're doing this at the end of the term to seem like you're, a good president, which you're really not that great of a president. So, and I'm glad, because I believe Obama's going to win. To all you Hillary supporters out there, I don't get why you support Hillary. A lot of you... excuse me. A lot of you out there are saying, I'm voting for Hillary because of experience. Who's to say that Obama doesn't have as much experience as Hillary does? That's all I gotta say. I want you Democrats like myself to leave some comments. I want you Republicans to leave comments. I want to hear everybody's opinion, whether I'm right or wrong. As I always say, from being wrong, you learn. And from learning, you get smarter. And with getting smarter comes knowledge. And the more knowledge I get, I'll be able to withstand reality better. So leave some comments on stuff, and yeah, I'm out.